I have far too many cake mixes in my pantry, as evidenced by this footage where, you know, I have to move everything around. My pantry in general is probably too full, but I have to move everything around. I have just an entire stack of cake mixes in the very back depths of my pantry. Something has to be done. I rummaged around in there and I came up with these two items: coconut cake mix and lime gelatin. So I'm gonna make a poke cake. If you've never made a poke cake, it's basically just like a single layer cake, usually from a cake mix, with flavored gelatin poured over it. You actually like poke holes in the cake once it's baked, pour your liquid over, and then chill it for several hours. It's kind of like a tres leches cake, except Jello. I'm gonna be using one of my beloved Dolly Cake mixes. I actually haven't tried baking one of these because I'm sort of holding on to them for as long as possible. Am I gonna keep the box? Absolutely I am. But I do need to use up the cake mix because it will eventually go bad. Whatever cake mix you use, just bake it according to package instructions. All right, and for this one, we have our cake mix. There's a cup of milk. This cake mix requires 4 eggs. Half a cup of melted butter. And this is quite the occasion, folks. I'm gonna be using my Dolly spatula today. I got this as part of the Christmas collection order that I made back in November. I did make a video about that, so I'll link it in the description down below. If this is still available, I will link it as well. It is not particularly Christmassy, so maybe they still have it at Williams-Sonoma, I'm not sure. Now, I am not getting a ton of coconut, like scent-wise from this, and I really want this to be a coconut lime poke cake. So I am going to add just a touch of coconut extract. This is not a fully necessary step. This is just something I'm choosing to do. Also, this is a complete experiment because I've never made a coconut lime poke cake. Since we're winging it, I'm just gonna put like about a teaspoon in here. Hope that's not too much. Gonna prepare my pan with a little bit of this Wilton Bake Easy nonstick spray. We're going real shortcutty here today. Pour that on in. If you were not aware, Pyrex bowls, these Cinderella bowls, have pour spouts on the sides. One is actually bigger than the other. Fun fact right there, if you didn't already know. I sure hope this is a Dolly approved way of using her cake mix. I think she'd like it though. So now I just have to bake this according to package directions, which means 350 degrees for about 24 minutes. Now, I'm not exactly following a recipe, it's more of a method, and I found it in this book. This is Joys of Jello Gelatin. Jello Gelatin put a lot of these out. This particular copy is from 1981, but I have Joys of Jello from the 60s, 70s, you know, they have several. I like this one because it has a spiral binding. I also really like the cover art on this too, and if you open it up, you can see the entire goblet of gelatin. The contents are also color-coded, and this so reminds me, people my age might remember this. Do you remember Deal-A-Meal, that Richard Simmons like diet plan where you had the colorful cards that you had to like put in a little folio? That's what it reminds me of. There is a recipe for gelatin poke cake in here, but it's pretty basic. Your cake, a package of gelatin, and then the water to sort of prepare the gelatin. So really this is more of a process, this is more of a method rather than a recipe. Because I'm winging it, if this turns out and you actually see this video, I will put the full recipe of exactly what I did in the description down below. So let's just wait for this cake to bake, shall we? My cake is all baked and golden. I did let this cool for 15 minutes per the recipe or method that I'm using. And now it is time for the poke part of the poke cake. So basically after you've let your cake cool for 15 minutes, take a fork and poke it. And it says at 1/2-inch intervals. You just do what you want. I'm using a really large fork. You can use a small fork, you can use a skewer, it does not matter. You just want to make some pathways in your cake for that gelatin mixture to soak in. I like to pay special attention to the edges because those tend to get a little bit more like brown and dried out. I do like to sort of put some extra holes around the edges so that I can ensure the liquid gets in there. That's probably pretty good. You can see all of those holes in the cake. Next comes the gelatin. I'm gonna mix my gelatin right in the measuring cup because you're gonna pour it over the top of the cake, and that's gonna make it a lot easier to do. Put your gelatin in here. Also, it makes it easier to measure your water. So I have my gelatin in here. So I need to add 1 cup of boiling water to this. So I'm gonna make sure that that dissolves. So once you've dissolved your gelatin in the boiling water, add 1/2 cup of cold water. Stir that together. We're gonna pour this over the cake. Again, I like to focus on the edges first. You wanna make sure you kind of like evenly distribute this too. Just make sure it's covered. I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of a sickly green color. So now that I've poured my gelatin over the cake, I have to let it chill for 3 to 4 hours. So I will pick this up later. It might be tomorrow. We'll see. The cake has been chilling overnight. So now for the big reveal. All right, she's green. So now it's time to decorate. And I'm gonna decorate it with some stabilized whipped cream that I made. I have a short on how to make this, so I'll go ahead and link that in the description down below. There are lots of ways to make stabilized whipped cream. I like to use gelatin and powdered sugar to do it. We're gonna start with just a layer of sweetened whipped cream. And I've got my trusty offset spatula. This is always linked in my description because I use this a lot. It just makes things like icing cakes, spreading anything onto anything else. It just makes it a lot easier. It's like one of my favorite kitchen tools. Evenly and completely covered, just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna put coconut on top. But before I go in with the coconut, I'm gonna take my gridded ruler. You can kind of see it if I hold it against the cake. And I'm just gonna make some marks. I like these gridded rulers because they are washable, they are flexible, they are great for all kinds of stuff. And I'm not cutting through the cake here. I'm just like dragging a knife a little bit just to make some like grid lines, just so people know kind of like where to go with it. Again, this is not gonna be perfect because like nobody's perfect. Yeah, we're gonna have some pieces that are a little bit different size, but everybody wants a different size piece of cake, don't they? So now I've got some green coconut. I tinted this myself. Tinted coconut is basically the perfect way to decorate your Easter desserts, your spring desserts, and you can make it any color you want. Throw your coconut in a Ziploc bag, add food coloring just a little at a time. You can always add more food coloring, but you can't take food coloring away. And then just squish it around until it's the color that you want it to be, and let it dry a little bit on a wax paper covered sheet or plate. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of this, but just kind of, I'm just gonna sprinkle this evenly. You can still see the lines that I made. I just wanna give it a little pizzazz. Let's just use it all. What else am I gonna do with green coconut? I also have green jelly beans. I have all of the colors, but I separated the green ones out. I think I'm just gonna put maybe like a little green jelly bean in the center of each square. Not going too crazy with the decorations here. I want to keep it simple, but the lines like kind of help me see where I'm going with these jelly beans too. Oh my gosh, how cute. This definitely has a retro look about it. That's cute, I like it. I think it's cute. I don't know if you think it's cute. I'm gonna attempt to cut this cake, not sure how it's gonna look. But I did put my little grid lines in there, so that is helpful. And I'm no expert at cutting cakes, but I do like to wipe off the knife after every cut. If you're trying to get something that's like a little bit cleaner looking. Of course, there's like coconut to contend with on this one. Let's see if I can get a piece of this out onto a plate. That's not too bad, it's not too bad, okay. Oh, pleasantly surprised. Let's look at the inside. Oh, it's teetering, but you can see where the Jello kind of like soaked through. And it gives you this beautiful green inside. So now this is like the most important part. How does this cake taste? It's like just a hint of lime and a hint of coconut. Oh yeah, okay, I got more of the lime. As you go further into the cake, the lime kind of shows itself more. It's good. I like Jello Poke cakes. I think they're a lot of fun. It makes for like a super moist cake, of course, and you do want to keep this refrigerated after you cut it if you have leftovers. I think this would make an excellent dessert for your upcoming Easter celebration or pretty much any time. It does kind of scream like spring and summer though. And I think you could come up with a lot of your own really fun combinations. I think I said orange and pineapple, but what about an orange cake with strawberry gelatin? That would be excellent. You could do white cake with just about any flavor really. Lemon cake mix with lime jello, like just mix it up, go crazy, have a lot of fun. I like to keep the icing on it pretty light when I do this, usually kind of a whipped topping. You can use Cool Whip. I just chose to use real whipped cream, but do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. If you happen to love vintage desserts like I do, I have an entire playlist and I will link it in the description down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have friends or family who love these type of videos, please share it with them. It really does help my channel grow by reaching a larger audience. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.